Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another Worship Sunday with Remnant Mentality Ministries under the leadership of Angela Hendricks. I am Taylor McCoy, and I'm excited to lead you all in worship today. Like I always say, no matter where you are, just prepare your heart to worship God today, and let's lift Him up together. Amen. Now, everybody know this, so let's do it. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. It reaches to me. Yeah. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. It reaches to me. Yes, God. And in the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. And in the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. God, you lift me up. You are my joy, joy like no other, joy like no other, reaches to me. And you are my peace, peace like no other, peace like no other, reaches to me. Yeah. And in the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. Oh, you lift me up. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. God, you lift me up. So open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I want to see you. Yeah. I want to see you. Whoa, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I want to see you. I want to see you, yeah, to be high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, 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 to be high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Why won't you pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, 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 We want to see you. Yeah, we want to see you. We want to see you. Hallelujah. In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender. You are breaking new ground. In the crushing and in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, and you are breaking new ground. So I yield to you and to your perfect hand. When I trust you, I don't need to understand. So make me a vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, and all you have given me, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. In the crushing, oh, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, and you are breaking new ground. So I yield to you and to your perfect hand. And when I trust you, I don't need to understand. So make me a vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. 'Cause I came here with nothing, and all you have given me, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old flame to carry your new fire today. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old flame to carry your new fire today. Oh, today. So make me a vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me, Jesus, bring new wine out of me.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Y'all, look, I don't know if you've been listening to the words of the song, but she was talking about make me a vessel. She's talking about making new wine out of me. We can't be made into new wine. Grapes cannot be made into wine without the crushing, without the pressing. There's nothing that can come out of you of purpose without there being a crushing or a pressing. And so today, that's what we're going to be talking about too. But is that not awesome? Is that not God? Because today we're going to be talking about that process of being crushed, that process of rejection that causes you to be catapulted into what God has for you. No longer are we going to stay in the same position thinking that we're going to get something new, but it's the pressing and the crushing. It's the rejection from family and friends. It's the rejection from society. It's the rejection even in your own thought pattern that will cause you to be catapulted into what God needs for you to be in whatever season He has for you to do it in. So that's where we're going to be on today. So I just got some quick points, y'all. I got some quick points. All right. So before we get going real good, I just want to say hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Angela Hendricks, and I am the leader here at Remnant Mentality Ministries, and we welcome you on today. Welcome. Y'all know today is Sunday, so it's my day every day of the week, though somebody is going forth, all right? Somebody is going forth every single day of the week, so make sure y'all catch us here, and whatever day of the week it is, they'll let you know. All you have to do right now is go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the follow button on YouTube. Whatever you have to do, go on and give some thumbs up, some hearts, whatever it is that you have on wherever you're in, because we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube right now live, but we're also on Instagram if you want to follow us on Instagram, Remnant Mentality Ministries. But nevertheless, Remnant Mentality Ministries is here, all right, to equip the saints. We're here to encourage, to equip, and to educate, all right, because in these last and terrible days, we need some equipping of the saints. There's too much going on for us not to be equipped. It's too much going on for us not to be educated as to what it is that the enemy is trying to do. He's not doing anything new. It's nothing that is going on right now that has not already been prophesied. All right. So we just have to be prepared, get our mind right. And so that's why we're here. We're here to just be that little beacon of light and of hope to get you through these times. All right. Hello, Vanessa. How you doing? Hello, everybody. Y'all go ahead and come on in. Hey, Trees, how you doing? Hi. Hey, everybody. Hello, Mr. Meyer. How you doing? Y'all, like I said, I'm going to be brief. Hello. How are you doing? And I'm going to be brief today, but I want you to understand that there has to be a process to get you to the point of your purpose. All right. So there has to be, as you saw in the comments, or as you saw in the description down below or up top, whichever way. Hello, Marie. Is that there has to be a purposeful rejection. And you said, how can rejection be purposeful? There's nothing purposeful about rejection except for the people who do it. Because the people who do it, they meant to do it. They meant to reject. They meant to make you hurt. They meant to put you in a place or a position to make you feel less than. But that's not what God is saying on today. There is some purposeful rejection. There's some rejection that you had to go through in order to get you to where you are now. And some of us are experiencing rejection, but there's a process to this thing. All right, there's a process. So we're going to look at Joseph, the life of Joseph, and we're going to see how there was definitely levels of rejection that he had to go through, and it was crazy rejection. But we're going to be looking at those things that he went through, and we're just going to come on up out of here, because the only thing I want you to know is that this thing that you're going through, this phase that you're going through in life that makes you feel like, I don't even want to keep going. I don't have it in me. Angela, you do real good at all that kind of stuff, but it's not me. I don't want to do it no more. I'm tired. I'm here to tell you, don't give up yet. I'm here to tell you to just hold on one more minute, all right? Because guess what? There's purpose in that rejection. So wherever you're finding yourself right now, just know that there's purpose in that rejection. There's purpose for you to be in the place that you're in right now. So y'all, go ahead, and you don't even have to turn your, but I'm going to just tell you, all right? I'm going to hit points. So I'm going to tell you the story because the story is kind of long. So I can't like fit it all, and read all. No, I'm not going to do that. It's not story time, but I'm going to put up the banner so that you can see where to find these stories at, all right? So you can see where to find these stories in Genesis. So we starting all the way over at Genesis chapter 37. And in Genesis chapter 37, y'all, this is the first. This is the first of what needs to happen, because I'm telling you, in the very beginning of anything that you have going on, God is going to give you a vision. He's going to give you a dream. Hello, Apostle Couch. How are you doing? I pray that you're feeling better, man of God. Blessings to you. Blessings. But in the very beginning, there has to be a dream. There has to be a vision that comes to you. You have to know that where you are, you can't stay there anymore. All right. And so that's what happens right here from the very beginning. Joseph has a dream. And in the midst of him dreaming, it says that in the very beginning of 37, it talks about how he's his dad's favorite. And everybody knows it. All his brothers know that he's his dad's favorite. And so here we see that the dream is manifested. He's telling them his dream. They tell him what the dream means because he doesn't even know what it means. And they're like, look, you think you finna be over us? You think you're going to rule over us? So they're telling him, all right, they're interpreting his dream to him. They got giftings they didn't even know they had, but they are interpreting his dream to him, telling him that you think you're going to be over us. So they already knew that this was a problem. Let me tell you something. When you begin to make manifest with your mouth what it is that God has shown you, what God has promised you, when you begin to tell other people that you thought that you can trust, because I'm sure he thought he could trust his family. Hello, Mr. Meyer. Yes. So as we are sitting here and we are looking at these verses 3 through 11, we're talking about the dream and the vision. It manifests because that's the first thing that has to manifest. And as you begin to just say that thing with your mouth, as you begin to profess it with your mouth, as you begin to let it be known that I believe that God is calling me in this direction. I believe that I'm going to be a doctor. I believe that I'm going to be a pastor. Oh, I believe God is calling me to do the X, Y, and Z. Whatever the vision is, whatever the dream is that God has given you to do, whatever burns down on the inside of your heart, when you begin to share that with other people, some people are just not going to understand. And so that's going to cause there to be the rejection piece. So now the next portion that we get into and is still in Genesis chapter 37, but we're going to get into where his brothers are going to reject him. And in this rejection process, they say, look, there's no way we can let him live. He too much. He talking too much. He's no good. They don't even let him come out here and help us in the field. He too good to even help in the field. And he got this nice pretty coat that they made him. They ain't made us no coat. We out here. We ain't got no pretty coat. So there's rejection that comes from family. I need y'all to understand that rejection can come from a multitude of places once God gives you the vision and once you verbally profess it. Rejection can come from any amount of people, any place, anything. And the first place is going to come is from those that are closest to you. Because you don't just share your dream with strangers, right? You don't go and manifest your dream to strangers. But the first place you tell your dream is to your family. And as he tells his dream to his family, they know that they got to do something about this. They got to do something about it. No, he think he too good. He too high and he too mighty. And so what they do is they go ahead and they sell him over into slavery. As they sell him over into slavery, we see that he's now processing, and as he's, hello, Miss Lana, how you doing? So I'm telling you that we have to make sure that when we profess this dream with our mouth, there's going to come rejection. Now, the family rejects Joseph. His brothers sell him off into slavery, tell his daddy that he dead. He dead. Oh, yeah, look, we just found his coat. This is all we got left. The next step in this evolution, as he's been found to be dead by his father, sold off into slavery, the next portion that we get into is Genesis. Y'all, hold on. Y'all, bear with me here. Okay, Genesis chapter 39. We see that he goes into this rejected place from his family, and as he's in the rejected place of his family, hello, Renee, how you doing? As he's in this rejected place with his family, he finds favor. He finds favor because anybody who has a vision from God, you will experience rejection from those closest to you. From childhood on up, there will be a series of rejected places from people that you thought had your best interest in mind. Rejection will be on the table for those that are chosen, not just called, but those that are chosen. There will be rejection that continues to follow you all throughout your life. Some form of rejection. And I just don't understand it. Why it just feels like I'm a magnet to this stuff. And so soon as something good happens, you get hit over the head. And then it's like, dang, here I go again in this vicious cycle of being rejected once again, because now he's been bought by Potiphar. Potiphar is one of the chiefs in Pharaoh's place, and so in his army, and so he's bought by him, right? And so as he's bought by him, come on, it really does. But we finna tell you how rejection finna get you somewhere else. Look, come on, Tiffany, we need this. Oh, you talking about Samson in the lot? Yeah, I'm telling you, rejection is needed. It's a process. It's needed. We don't see that it's needed. Hello, Pastor Smith. How you doing? We don't know that we need rejection until rejection manifests. And we're like, oh, no. I don't need this. I don't need this. Come on, rejection for those that are chosen. Come on. That I'm telling you, it is. It is not just called, because many are called, few are chosen. And so here it is. He's been rejected. He gets picked up by Potiphar to be a slave in Potiphar's house. Potiphar sees that the hand of God is on him. He's like, hey, there's favor on this kid. I'm finna go ahead and I'm gonna make him over my whole house. So whatever's in the house, you manage the whole house. You are me in my stead. You have access to anything that I have access to. It's yours. And he's in Potiphar's house. It doesn't say how long he's in Potiphar's house. But he's in Potiphar's house and he's been set over everything. So in the midst of the rejection, God will give you that glimmer of hope to let you know to hold on. All right. And then Joseph is in this rejected place, Potiphar's house, but he's excelling even in Potiphar's house. Hey there, Pastor Green. He's excelling even in Potiphar's house, the place that he was rejected to. He was put in a high, prominent position. Even there, people could see the hand of God was on him. So even in your rejected place, people see God is with you. Even at your lowest point, people will see that God is with you. Do you hear me? I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to the chosen. All right. I'm talking to come on, Renee, go on and preach. But I'm talking to the chosen people. I'm talking to the ones that are chosen, not just called, but chosen. Because when you've been chosen, the purpose that's on your life will outshine everything that's going on around you. That rejection that caused you to be in that low place, even in the low place, you'll find favor. So as he found favor in Potiphar's house, now things are going good and he's managing everything and he's doing what he's supposed to do, right? So Potiphar's wife comes on to him and say, hey, now, because they describe Joseph as a nice looking young man, nice in his body, and he's nice looking, in the face and stuff. And so they said Potiphar's wife tried to come on to him several times. He said, look now, I know. Hello, Miss Eugenia. Blessings to you. I know that Potiphar has trusted me with everything in his house. Everything in his house I'm trusted with. But the one thing he didn't give me access to was you. So since he didn't give me access to you, I'm going to need you to stop doing what you're doing because I'm not going. All right? So in this rejected place, he's found favor. As he's found favor, here come a little irritating piece to this matter. So even in the midst of finding a glimmer of hope, in the midst of you being rejected because you're still trying to get over family hurt, you still trying to get over the fact that these folks left you for dead, you still trying to get in your mind, how could they do this to me? But then you find that favor piece. It may be the favor that you find in somebody else that's not family. It may have been favor that you found in a marriage. It may have been favor that you found somewhere else outside of the family or outside of that one that was closest to you. But you've got to find the rejection to get you out of what you feel like is good. So here it is. He's in the good place. As the banner says, he's in the good place. And as he's in the good place, here comes rejection. Good place rejection. First, we had family rejection, our close friends, relatives, loved ones, rejection. And now we have the good place, which I'm just getting to a place that I finally can breathe and everything is going good. And here comes the good place rejection. Yes, favor, Pastor. And so as he's in this place, come on. As he's in this good place, I'm in a good place right now. Here comes the irritation. And so the irritation comes and he's like, I'm not doing it. But then one day she catches him. She didn't let all the servants go. So there are no witnesses. And she said, come to me. And so he says, oh no. And she grabs him by his robe and he runs up out his robe. And so she has his robe as proof. And she uses it as ammunition against him because if I can't get what I want from you, you got to go. So she goes and tells her husband that this innocent young man has tried to take advantage of her. And he never told on her, but she went and told on him. Now, I want y'all to look at this thing a different way. So now Potiphar has to come in and Potiphar says, you know what? You got to go. So he puts him in a prison. But let me tell y'all something. He's been rejected in the good place. The good place was good for a while it lasted. And don't get comfortable, chosen people. Don't get comfortable, chosen. Y'all hear what I just said? Don't get comfortable, chosen people. Hey there, Uncle E. Don't get comfortable. Okay? Because what I'm telling you is, if it don't look like the vision that God gave you, if it don't look like the dream God gave you, but it's good, don't get comfortable. Because rejection has to come in the middle of the good place in order for you to move to the next position that God has for you. If it doesn't look like the vision God gave you, don't get comfortable. So then the next place that he finds himself is in prison. And as he's in the prison, he begins to find favor even in the prison. He finds favor in the prison. He gets promoted in the prison. How does he get promoted in the prison? Well, even the guards. Hey there, Apostle Franklin. Look, even the guards begin to tell him, God's hand is on him. I'm going to put you over everything here. You're going to be put over everything. That's it. You can't be mad and you can't be bitter. Being mad and being bitter ain't even something that's in our vocabulary. We have to understand that if it don't fit the vision that God gave us, that good place, we can't stay there, Tiffany. And the people who did it, we can't hold no grudges. It's a part of the process, and I'll get to that in a minute. You rushing me. I'm trying to get there. So here we are. He goes into this place and he's in prison and he's been promoted in the prison to the prisoner that's over all the stuff. So he's in a deep, dark place right now. He's in a deep, dark place. And in this deep, dark place, he's still finding glimmers of hope. Glimmers of hope are coming. And so he's finding these glimmers of hope. And as he's finding these glimmers of hope, he looks over and here comes the cupbearer and the baker. The cupbearer and the baker of Pharaoh come down into the prison. They come down into the prison for what? Because Pharaoh is mad at them at the time. And so he puts them in the prison. Who does that? Who gets so upset? I'm going to put you in the prison. But he gets upset with them for whatever matter. God knows, because God sets up divine encounters that you won't think nothing about. But God will set up a divine encounter at your lowest point. This is why we always have to be ready, even in our lowest point. Even when we find ourselves on the street homeless, we still got to be prepared with a word in our mouth about God being our provider. How can God be your provider and you over here on the street? Let me tell you something. Peace comes in all forms. Maybe it was the hustle and bustle of the business life that caused that man to just say, I give up. I'm finna go and I'm gonna live on the street where I don't have this mess in my mind plaguing me anymore. You never know what somebody's story is until you talk to them. But when you talk to some of these people, some of the things out of their mouth is, God is good. Even in their lowest point, you got to be prepared. So here it is. He's in the prison, the lowest point of his life, because he thought he was low when his family rejected him. He thought, that's it. You're needed in the place of rejection. Come on. You have to be in this place right now. I'm telling you, have to be in this place. Somebody needs you to be in this place and be in position with God. Hello, Prophetess Anastasia, with God on the tip of your lips. You got to be. And so as we are here, all right, as we are here, y'all, as we are here, and we see that there's promotion because he then got promoted by the prisoner, the guard, and he said, you're over everything. And we think that that's just the promotion that he got. But I'm telling you, the promotion that he got was when the cupbearer and the baker came down there, the divine connection that God made while he was in his lowest place. While he was in his lowest place, he could have been one of those that complained right along with the cupbearer and the baker. But he didn't find himself in a place of complaining. When he saw that their face looked out of context, like, what's wrong with you? Why do y'all look like that? What's wrong with you? He was walking in his new authority. He was walking in the promotion of God, because before he didn't know what the dreams meant. All of a sudden he knew. All of a sudden, the promotion was, I couldn't be an interpreter of dreams, being where I was. It wasn't until the agitation came and I was rejected in the good place that I find myself in a low place. And in the low place, God promoted me. And I didn't even recognize the promotion because now he's interpreting dreams. Come on, Renee, you got to repent. We have to. Now he's promoted in that place, and he didn't recognize the promotion because sometimes we can be so far down in the dumps, still licking our wounds from the first rejection, that we won't recognize the promotion. We thinking the promotion is when he went in there and they made him over all the other prisoners and they made him in a position to where he looked like he's in some type of authority. I don't have to be in no authority position. In order for God to promote you, you got to be sensitive to the people that are around you. You got to be sensitive to the places that he puts you in. The cupbearer and the baker had to come. They had to come. Pharaoh's heart had to be hardened towards them and to put them in prison, to have that divine connection that their dreams may be interpreted. He's promoted by God. He missed it because he's still in that same place. And he told them what their dreams meant because they had some dreams and they were just like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But he was promoted and he began to speak. Oh, yeah, well, that means blah, 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 blah. And you, it means blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, the promotion can be at your lowest place. But if you do not keep yourself ready, keep yourself in position to always have God in the forefront. All right, because that's what he did. He kept God in the forefront. The hand of God never left him. Even in the lowest place, it never left him. Potiphar's house, it never left him. In the pit that his brothers threw him in, it never left him. On the back of the slave carousel, it never left him. I'm telling you, the hand of God is on those that are chosen. You've got to wait out the process. And so here we see that he had the good place rejection. He had family rejection, the good place rejection. And then he's in prison. And then in the prison, he gets the promotion. And then the cupbearer and the baker leave. And they say, oh, yeah, we're going to remember you. We'll remember you. And so when they say, oh, we're going to remember you, they go and they forget. He spends another 2 years in jail. Another 2 years in jail because they get out and they forget. And so now he's feeling the rejection. Now he's feeling the rejection. He's feeling the rejection of it all. We're talking about being in the place of feeling rejected. We're talking about feeling the rejection of the ones that you came into divine encounter with. And they're just like, yes, when we get back, we're going to remember and we're going to tell and we're going to make sure Pharaoh hears about you. And they get back in their position and they forget. One of them gets killed because that was the dream that he had. But then the other one just forgets. And it may seem like in this low place that you've been there for so long, that you've been rejected and you can't even begin to fathom how you're going to come up out of it, right? Let me tell you something, because what happens in the midst of this rejection, what happens in the midst of this rejection, this feeling rejected, they say they don't know exactly the total time that Joseph was in prison, but some accounts, according to the book of Jasher, they said that he was in there for 13 years. That means he only had about one good year, a good year in Potiphar's house, and then he went to prison. And he spent all that time in prison, and then he met up with the other people. And then as he met up with them, he spent another 2 years in jail. So let's say 13 years. Let's just say that number is right. He spent 13 years in jail. 13 years in prison in a low place. Even though there are glimmers of hope, there's provision in this low place. There's provision and there's promotion in this low place. But because he never let God leave his tongue, he has to come out of that place, right? And so then we go to the next position. And the next position, he has to be ready to come out. Because as he's ready, he's staying in that prison place, right? He stayed in the prison. And then in the prison, he's staying. Come on. I complain about 3 hours. What you talking? But as he's in that place, that he's finding himself in this prison for so long. And now things are beginning to turn. Things are beginning to shift and to turn because now there's turmoil happening. Pharaoh is having a dream. Pharaoh is having some instances and he can't figure it out and he needs somebody to interpret it. And so then he gets remembered. It says that the cupbearer remembered there was one that he was in jail with, that he was in prison with. But you got to be ready, even in that low place, you got to be ready. Because what God wants to do for you, if you're not ready, how can you come out and do what God wants you to do? And so he was remembered. And so I need y'all to understand that in this low place, God has not forgotten about you. God has not forgotten about you. When you find yourself in the low place and you've been rejected several times in your life and you're trying to figure out why I keep ending up on the back end of people's hand. Why I keep ending up on the back end of people's hand? Why is it that nothing I put together can stick? Why is it that everything I try to do in the name of God doesn't work for me the way it worked for other people? You're not just other people. I know you seeing people out here shining. I know you see them out here doing the most. You see them with the new cars. You see them with the new cars. I'm talking about the Mercedes and they out here with the BMWs and they out here with the Jaguars. They out here with the brand new homes and they got all these things going for them. The new job, the promotion. They got all these things going for them. At least it seems like they got all these things going for them. And you're sitting here like, God, you gave me a vision. This can't be where you keep me because there's something burning on the inside. You ain't seen the vision yet. You ain't seen the dream yet. Because you ain't seen the dream, remember, we got to hold on, because no matter how good it gets, if it don't look like the vision, if it don't look like the dream that God gave me, I can't get comfortable. And so here we see that there is a level of rejection that has to come. Woo, yes, come on. We can't see past it. We can't see past everything that has been going on, because it's so much going on. And it just seemed like everybody else is passing you. Hey there, Inez. Everybody else is passing you. Everybody. But here you are. And you trying to just figure stuff out. But God put you on the minds of people. This is why you got to keep yourself in a position for you to hear. You have to keep yourself in a position for you to serve at all times. Serve without thinking that there's something that you need in return. Serve when you don't even know what you're doing to serve. Just serve, period. And so here we see, come on, it does. It looks like the wicked is winning, but the wicked is not winning. The wicked is not winning. I'm telling you now, the cupbearer and the baker got out of prison. One was killed, yes, because that was his dream. The other one working in the palace, doing what he do. But the wicked does not prevail ever. Don't ever think that everybody else making it but me. But because you got this burning on the inside of you, you got sometimes, I tell y'all all the time, I love it the way that Paul told Timothy to do war with prophecy. You've got to do war with prophecy. Come on, Mariah. Come on. It doesn't look like the vision we default to check. You better speak up in here, Mariah. That's what I'm talking about. We will be diverted. We'll be diverted saying this is all that it is. Maybe my vision was too big. Maybe my dream was too big. Nothing's too big for God. We dumb it down so it can be something that we can do. But when you leave the vision intact and you begin to tell God the vision again, God, you showed me. You showed me. Begin to do war with that prophecy. Begin to do war with what it is that God told you. Begin to speak it. Begin to manifest it. Begin to say, God, I'm not happy. I'm not content in this place, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to serve. Wherever you allow me to be in this season of my life, I'm going to serve. No matter what it's looking like right now, I'm going to serve. And Lord, I thank you because the burning that you have inside of me knows that this isn't my end. You've shown me bigger. You've shown me better. So it can't end here. It can't end here. But while I'm here, I'm going to serve. While I'm here, speak to me. While I'm here, begin to just confirm in me what you already showed me. Begin to give me new dreams. Begin to give me new visions, Father. I need that reassurance that while I'm in here, you ain't forgot about me. Come on. You know what God has showed you. You understand what God has showed you. You got it in your head. It's etched in your mind. So when you have little glimmers of stuff and it looks so good and you're just like, yes, yes, yes. And it still don't look like what it's supposed to look like. So this is what I'm telling you. Stay tuned, because here we come into he's being remembered. Because Pharaoh has a dream. So now he has to be remembered. He's being remembered. The cupbearer says, oh, yeah, you know what? There was one. The name, I can't remember his name, but he was in prison. And I bet you he can interpret your dream because he interpreted our dreams when we was down there. And so now you're being remembered. God is bringing you to the forefront of somebody's mind. God is bringing you to the forefront of somebody's mind, but are you ready? Are you ready for what the vision looks like? Are you ready? Are you prepared for what God has given you? And you're saying, well, I don't know how to prepare myself. Maybe I ain't never seen a dream, but the dream is down on the inside of you. Because if you're in a place and you feel like there's more, there's a vision. If you're in a place and you feel like this can't be all, there's a dream. And I'm telling you, because you haven't seen it yet, because when you see it, there'll be a peace about it. When you see it, you'll know that it's God, and God is the only one that could have done this. And so you got to stay ready. I know that the vision or the dream that God has given me is so much bigger. And it's like, okay, it's big, but how do I get there, God? I don't worry about that no more. I just get into the place that I'm in right now and I play my part. I play my position. I'm ready. If God calls me higher, I'm ready. How do I stay ready? I stay in this word. How do I stay ready? I stay in his presence. How do I stay ready? I stay meditating on this word. Because if you don't know nothing else, when you get this word down on the inside of you, even when God puts you on platforms that you never thought you could ever be on, he will have you to perform because he got something to work with down on the inside of you. If you ain't got this word in you, you're not prepared. If you ain't got no prayer life, you're not prepared. So I'm telling those people that are feeling rejected right now, where's your prayer life? I'm telling those people that are feeling like somebody has done them wrong, where is your prayer life? Where is your word time with God? Are you ready for the next level? You constantly asking God, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Lord, I can't see myself staying in here, but you ain't doing nothing in the process to stay ready because somebody is going to remember you. And if somebody remembers you and they're going to bring you out, are you going to be prepared to deliver the word that God said deliver if you don't know his voice? How do I know his voice? His word. I know how he talks because I know his word. I know his voice because I'm in prayer. Come on, Burnett, come on, say that. Say that. I do. He says, I do know the plans, the thoughts and the plans that I have to bring you to an expected end. You better come on. That's it. That's what God is saying. He knows. And as long as he knows, you just have to be in your position to be ready. Stay ready. Wherever the season is, my season is right here, right now. There might be a season when you won't see me here anymore on this platform. But God has me here right now, so I'm going to do it to the best of my ability that he has placed in me to do it. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to do what God has told me to do with this thing. Do you understand? Because this is my now. Whatever your now is, what are you doing with the now? If you don't know how to manage your now, how can he put you in the good place? In the dream, in the vision? How can he put you in the dream and in the vision if you can't handle the now? The now is so much bigger than what you think it is because the now is prepping you for what's to come. And you don't see how it can prep you for what's to come because what's to come is so big. You're like, oh no, God, this can't be. This can't be. You can't possibly be taking me there because if you were taking me there, then things would be different for me. I wouldn't be right here. But that's a part of the testimony, right? It's a part of the testimony. And so let's go because as soon as he is remembered, all right? That's it, Red. Come on, manage your now. As soon as he's remembered, all right? Now we move on to the next portion. And the next portion is he's promoted. He's promoted because once he interprets Pharaoh's dream, Pharaoh, he goes on and he says, and the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh. This is verse 37, Genesis 41, verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said to Joseph, for as much as God hath showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. That's it. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. Thank you, Pastor Michael. Let me tell you, when Pharaoh understood who Joseph was. See, this is the thing. God is going to expose you to the people that matter. He's going to expose you to the shakers and movers in this land. And if you're not prepared in your now, if you're not ready then, once he exposes you, you're going to be stammering and stuttering all over yourself. You know, I tell people, look now, get the business plan together, because when they start to ask you the numbers of what it's going to cost to mass produce, you got to have some numbers ready. When they ask you, well, what it's going to cost to do what it is that you're trying to do, and you say, you pull a number out your butt, and then it be too low or it be too high, and then they go on about their business because you're not ready. And now you're stuck in a season that you were never supposed to be stuck in, because the right people came, but you didn't have the verbiage for where you were going, because you didn't take advantage of your now. Did y'all get that? You don't have the verbiage for where you're going because you didn't take advantage of the now. You have to have a way of escape. Joseph didn't have a way of escape, but it was God. What I'm telling you is, when it came to Joseph, when he interpreted the dream for Pharaoh, the only reason Pharaoh knew that the dream was true is because the burden of the dream lifted. When you're prophesied to, when your dreams and your visions start to come to pass, you'll know that that's it, because the burden of it starts to lift. Burdens start to lift when it's God professing and manifesting things in your life. The burden begins to lift, and you can see the light of day one more time. And so as the burden was lifted from Pharaoh and all the people around him, they knew that Joseph was different. He was promoted. And even in the midst of this, if we look at verse 51, he began to have children. That's it. He began to have children, and this was his healing process, because in the midst of this promotion, and this was a major promotion because he was second in command only to Pharaoh himself. Second in command, this slave boy, little slave boy is all they knew him as. They didn't know that he was an heir to Israel, the chosen people. They didn't know that. They didn't know. And here he's just a little slave boy. And this little slave boy that was rejected by his family got into a good place, and then it was rejected by the good place. Get into prison, promoted in prison, stood and stayed ready in prison, got remembered, and then he's here and he's getting promoted to second in command of all of Egypt. And as he's promoted to second in command of all of Egypt, he begins to go through his healing process, because now he's beginning to see the dream, just the remnants of the dream, the little pieces of the dream. It's beginning to make a little bit better sense now. And it wasn't that he was so great or so grand, but it's beginning to make sense to him now. And so he names his first child. 51, verse 51 says, and Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, he hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. The other child that was born, and the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. Oh God, hallelujah. When you begin to walk into what it is that the vision that God gave you is, into the prophesied word of God is for your life, when you begin to start to walk into it, when you understand that it's so much bigger than what you can really get, there has to be a forgiveness for the fullness of the vision to come to pass. For the fullness of the dream to manifest, there has to be a level of forgiveness in you. So that's why he had to name his first child Manasseh, because God has given him to forget all of the troubles and even the rejection of his father's house. Because if nobody else had known trouble, it was Joseph. If nobody else had known some form of rejection, it was Joseph. He wasn't doing nothing to nobody, wasn't mean to nobody. Sweet spirit. But he had to begin to start to heal. So there had to be a level of forgiveness that had to happen in order for the fullness of the vision that God gave him to manifest. He saw the remnants. I could see where this thing could come to pass. And God began to heal his heart, because he had to let go of some stuff that happened in his family's house. He had to let go of that rejection. He had to let go of the process that brought him to that point. And so I say to the chosen today. I'm telling you, I'm not talking to the called. I'm talking to the chosen. All right, because it's a chosen few that got to go through hell and high water. But it's a process. The rejection is putting you in position. And so the healing process had to come, and Manasseh and Ephraim came. And he says that the Lord caused him to forget all his toil and all the things that happened in his father's house. And then he says that God has caused him to be fruitful even in the midst of his affliction. He began to accept the fact, I'm here. I may not have all my family with me. I may not have the ones that I trusted with me. But I'm in a position where God has blessed me in spite of. He's blessed me by the ones who had lord over me. He's blessed me in this land. He's caused me to be higher than I thought I could ever be. He's higher than he could have ever been in his daddy's house. He's higher than he ever could have been in the understanding or knowing of staying in that position. He had to be rejected in order to be catapulted to what his vision meant. So here, the next portion that we get into is that the dream and the prophecies, as they're coming to pass, we see. And how does he know that they're coming to pass? Because the famine is happening, the famine in the land. And as the famine is going on, people are coming from all over and they're trying to buy grain and they're trying to buy stuff and get food, right? So it says here in Genesis 50:18, it says, and his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, behold, we be thy servants. Y'all, look, I think that we don't quite always get why God places us in or allows certain things to happen to us. We don't know that there's so much more of a bigger plan. And so the bigger plan came, the famine came, everybody was hungry and coming from all over. His brothers even came. And as his brothers came to get grain or to get food, to feed the family, he saw them, he recognized them, but they didn't recognize him, because it's something how when you have forgiveness in your heart, people won't recognize you. You won't be that same bitter person anymore. You when you see them, that bitterness and that anger doesn't rise up in you when you truly forgave. And so he done helped his whole family come into a place, a land that was so much bigger than where they were. And if it wasn't for that, and so now his brothers, his dad had died, and they feared Joseph. And so they found themselves falling before his feet. The dream is starting to make sense now. The dream is starting to make sense. And he could have said, I told you so. But he didn't. His brothers fell at his feet, just as his dream said. He could have said, I told you so. I told you that y'all was going to be falling before my feet. God showed me y'all falling at my feet. I knew y'all was going to fall at my feet, but he didn't. He did not, because there was forgiveness in his heart. So there's forgiveness in his tongue. What comes out of your mouth means, that is what means that you've gone through forgiveness. And what came out of his mouth was forgiveness, because what he said next, he said to them, all right? He said to them, whoo, because you got to be, when you have total forgiveness, there's peace in total forgiveness. When you got partial forgiveness, you be like, yeah, you know what? I can't, there's some things I just can't do right off. And I ain't going, but total forgiveness brings about peace. And he has so much peace. This is what he told them. He says, I'm starting at 19. It says, and Joseph said unto them, fear not, for am I in the place of God? He's letting them know that y'all done fell to my feet and saying, calling me Lord, and saying that y'all are my servants. But am I in the place of God? I'm not God. I don't have a heaven or hell to put y'all in. I'm not gonna keep my heart hardened. All right. And then he goes on to say something so profound that others know it, and others say it constantly. He says here, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. We can go back and rehearse all the bad stuff that people had did. I'm going to just put this back here. We can go through and we can go and rehearse all the bad stuff that people have done to us, because it's just natural, just human nature, to go back and rehearse it. Well, if it wasn't for my daddy, if it wasn't for my mama, if my brother, my sister, my uncle, my aunts, it's natural for us to have that. Nobody's telling you don't, you if you have it, you evil. No. It's natural to have that, to rehearse that, because there's hurt and pain that flows all throughout you. But it's not until you release that hurt and that pain, because those people done gone on about their business, and they might feel bad about what they did to you, but they may never come and apologize, right? And so if they never come and apologize, if you never hear an apology again a day in your life from the people you feel like you owe it from, it's okay, because your forgiveness of them and what they did will bring about peace, and it will unwrap the fullness of the vision that God has for you. If you are harboring unforgiveness, if you are harboring any type of ill will towards anybody, and you find yourself stuck in a place and you feel like you're so close, let it go. Let it go. There has to be total forgiveness. There has to be peace. All right? And in that peace that you find, you'll find that people around you are going to be like, well, what? It can't be that easy. It can't be that simple. But when God has promised you something, you finally seeing it come to pass, you won't allow that stuff, that's little stuff right there. And you'll begin to realize that the rejection was something that was needed. I wrote this down, that we know that there are people who are rejected every day. We get rejected. But what I'm here to tell you is that there was one that was rejected that was so much greater than us. But we know from his story, Jesus, the Christ, from the rejection that he made, the rejection that was made towards him, the only thing that it did, what they thought they were stopping, he was going to lay down his life anyway. He was going to lay it down anyway. So the rejection just validated. It validated God's plan for his life. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all's rejection validated God's plan in your life. It validated the dream. It validated the vision. It validated the prophecy. Because if there's no resistance coming up against you when you got a dream or a prophecy that has not come to pass yet, if there's no resistance, something's off. Something's off. But the rejection validates it. And we can't hate the people that were the vessels for this rejection. The only thing we can do is love them right where they are. And thank God for them. Because if they hadn't rejected Joseph, Joseph would have still been in his parents' house, sleeping on their couch. If the rejection hadn't come, he'd have still been in Potiphar's house, serving to the best of his ability. Because in Potiphar's house, it was safe. In Potiphar's house, I had a little rank to me, so I'm good. If it wasn't for the rejection that was in Potiphar's house, because he got complacent. See, when we start to get complacent in a place that doesn't look like the vision, there has to be some turmoil. There has to be some irritation that's going to strip us of that place, because we can't get complacent in the good place. We can only get complacent in the vision, in the dream that God has given us. And so the rejection of the good place caused him to be catapulted to the prison. Even in the prison, the rejection in the prison caused him to be remembered and spoken unto Pharaoh. And if none of those places of rejection had happened to Joseph, where would Joseph be? Like I said, sleeping on his mama couch still. Dead, probably in the midst of famine, because Egypt would have never been able to save and do what they needed to do in order to help them. You never know what God has this rejection for. You never know what it's going to cause to come out of you. And so on today, I need y'all to know that Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, was rejected by his own people, even rejected by his own family for a minute, because they were like, you around here talking all this stuff. Come on, we came to get you. We came to bring you out of here. People say you talking all day long. You're not eating. You're not sleeping. We came to get you. His mom and his brothers then were outside saying, tell Jesus to come out. He was rejected by his people. He was rejected by his family. But he continued to do what it is that his father sent him to do. He was the stone that the builders rejected. He became the chief cornerstone. What I'm telling you is, do not mistake it. This rejection was necessary. It was a necessary means. It was a purposeful rejection to put you in the place that God needs you to be in, that others may be saved by your life. Others will be saved by your testimony, but you don't want to go through the testing in order to get through to the testimony, because you want to complain and hold unforgiveness in your heart. And so you find yourself on the rat wheel of life, constantly going in that cycle that causes you to stay in the prison, in the bottom place, not realizing that you got promotion, not realizing that the rejection was for purpose. Jesus knew he had to be rejected. He had to be rejected in order for the fullness of who we are now, what we preaching right now, to manifest. So how many of y'all on here know that the rejection had to happen? How many of y'all on here know that if you'd have stayed in that place, look, y'all, I don't even want to testify on today, but if I'd have stayed in a place, I might not be here right now. If I'd have stayed in a place, there's some places that I got comfortable in, but God had to cause some irritation to come upon me to get me out of there, because if I'd have stayed right there, I'd have missed my purpose. I'd have missed the vision of God. Irritation had to come that I can't go back, because I would look like a dog going back to his vomit if I did to the people. There's some places that you can't go back to right now. And there's a purpose behind it. There's a purpose behind it. You feel like you were rejected. You feel like you got the short end of the stick, but God was saving your life. He saved my life through rejection. He saved my life. Do you hear me? He saved my life. I'd have never manifested to this point in my life if it wasn't for the irritation, if it wasn't for the rejection. Never would I have sought his face the way that I seek him now. Never would I have known his hand if I hadn't reached for it. Never would I have known that he was a healer, a provider, my savior, my everything. I never would have known that without rejection coming on my doorstep. I had to experience rejection. I had to experience, y'all, and I know some of y'all can't feel me on this, but I had to experience embarrassment. I had to experience depression and anxiety. I had to experience some stuff for me to know who God was and for his will to be manifested in my life. Because for me, I'm quiet. I don't say nothing. I don't even like being around a lot of people. But here I am, talking to y'all. And why am I talking to y'all? Because I was rejected. Because I was made to look a fool in public eye. But what God was doing behind the scenes was prepping me. I was made to look crazy. But what God was doing was prepping me. It was a purposeful rejection. And I need y'all to get that everything in your life has not been placed there just to see if you can still stay in, just to see if you'll still serve me. Oh, let me see if she'll still serve me. Let me see if he'll still call my name. Let me see if he'll. No, that's not it. If there's rejection, know that it's causing something bigger to come. If there's a problem, know that the irritation is going to cause you to move. And in that irritation that causes you to move is going to cause you to go deeper in God. And as you go deeper in God, I don't need you to go the opposite way. I need you to go deeper. The rejection is validation. Okay, Tiffany, thank you. Oh, God. I'm telling you. The rejection of it all, y'all. It was the rejection for me. You know how people say, oh, is this for me? It was the rejection for me. It's the rejection for me. I couldn't be here without the rejection. I couldn't appreciate where I am now without the rejection. So y'all, only those that are chosen, because some of y'all not going to get this. It's going to go right over your head. But those that are chosen, they know what rejection feels like. They know what embarrassment looks like. They know what it is to be publicly ridiculed, for people to think that you can't make it out of this one. Only the chosen will understand the rejection. Only the chosen know what it's like to lay awake at night and cry yourself to sleep. Only the chosen know what it's like to have somebody that you love the most, that you held dear to you, to reject you and to make you feel like you're nothing. To look back and laugh. That rejection was needed. Come on, that's it. You have to get yourself together. I don't care who come with me and who do. The one thing I know is that I have to be in position for myself. Yeah, I have to be in position for myself. So, y'all, on today, stay in position. Don't let the enemy take you off your point. Get some forgiveness in your heart while you're in this bad place, while you're in the rejected place, or while you're in the now. Because the now is preparing you for the vision. The now is preparing you for the dream. The now is preparing you for the prophecy. All right? That's it. Resurrection. And he resurrected, Mariah. Absolutely. Jesus Christ resurrected. He did. He was able to rise up. And we know that his rejection was necessary. He had to be killed, seemingly. He had to be killed. He had to lay down his life. And us, we're going to have to lay down at some point. But it's the getting back up from the rejection. It's the being able to say, you know what, I forgive them in spite of. And moving on with your life. Not waiting there for the apology that you want to hear, but moving on with your life. Joseph never got that apology. Never. He never got the real apology. But before his brothers them even came, he named his children Manasseh and Ephraim, because God had gave him to forget the trials of his life and his family that hurt him so bad, and had given him victory in the midst of everything he had going on. God gave him victory. He gave him favor. Pastor Brenda, God is good, is he not? Is he not? I'm just trying to tell you, there's rejection. A lot of us, we walk in different giftings, and we don't know exactly what gifting we walk in until a whole lot of stuff starts to hit the fan. You know, I walk in the gifting of healing in my hands, right? Healing in my tongue. And with that being the case, my body began to reject. Things start to pop up and manifest in my body to try to cause me to think that, how can you? How? Why? What? Those hands? That tongue? This is what I'm saying. You'll know a lot about where God is taking you to, about where your life is being affected so bad at. You'll know. It's either where you came from, where you are now, and what is tugging on your heart. You'll know. So as you know where that is, I need y'all to know that forgiveness is a must. And when you walk in forgiveness, you don't bring it back up. You don't get irritated with them. You just let it slide, because this rejection was necessary, all right? It's a purposeful rejection, and you got to remind yourself of that sometime. Remind yourself this rejection was purposeful. Yeah, it hurt. It hurt pretty good, but it was necessary. So that is all I have for y'all today. Y'all, thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for being a part of Remnant Mentality Ministries. Once again, I am here every single Sunday between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Little old me. And every single day of the week, there's somebody else here, and they'll be able to tell you what time they come on that specific day. But look for Remnant Mentality. Wherever you see us, make sure you follow, subscribe, make sure you turn on your notifications, because every single day there is a fresh rhema word from God of encouragement, equipping, empowering, and educating. Because that's what we are set in this life to do as Remnant Mentality. All right, y'all. Once again, my name is Pastor Angela Hendricks, and I'm the senior leader here at Remnant Mentality Ministry. Love you too, Pastor Green. And until next time, all right, see y'all later. Bye. God bless.